So what are the actual steps they need to go through when listing a house? What's your agent going to do when it comes time to list your house? Stick around, let's find out. Hey everybody, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here, and today it's a little bit different. I spent together a video to help some of our clients understand what all the various different steps that happen when you're listing your house, and I thought, gosh, maybe there's somebody out there in YouTube land that needs to know this as well. So that's what this video is. Go ahead and check it out. And I'll see you at the tail end. Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. And I just want to take a minute and go over some of the things that we'll be looking at as we talk about, getting your house ready to list and what the whole process is like. So I put together this list. You've got the PDF that you can download and look through it as well. But it's a kind of a really good roadmap for all the different steps that are going to be happening. Plus a million other little tiny things that change from transaction to transaction. So let's just get right started. Coming steps, we're going to discuss and sign the agency disclosure brochure. And what that is it's a piece of paper that the state of Idaho wants you to make sure that you know some basic information, particularly what agency is all about. And so what agency is about is your relationship with the broker and then the buyer's relationship with the broker, and whether those are the same brokers or two different brokers, and what all that entails, plus some other regular good information to know about contracts and what the process is. Now, by signing this, it doesn't obligate you to anything. It just acknowledges receipt that you received it, because the state will come by an audit to make sure that we have these for people that we talk to. So that was probably the hardest one right there. We're to talk about, discuss what comparable homes are going for and apply any adjustments to those. So what I'm talking about there is, so we've got your house and we're looking at what other houses that are similar to that in a similar location have done, either if they're currently on the market or they're pending and they haven't closed yet, or ones that have closed like within the last 30, 60, 90 days, depending on what the house is and what our market. There was a time when our market was going up like a rocket ship, and we could only look back 30 days was a stretch. Right now, our market's a little bit changed. But anyway, so we'll be looking at those, and applying adjustments could be like you have a 3-car garage and some of our comps have a 2-car garage. So then we have to make a little dollar adjustment there for what the comp says, add, say, X amount of dollars for an extra garage to give us an idea of what we should be looking at to expect your place to go for. And when we do have those discussions, it's there's more that comes into it than just what condition the house is in and the features of the house, but also what your motivations are. Do you want to get rid of this like immediately, or do you have time to wait for better offers to come in? Those are different things that we can talk about as well to find out really where that price should be. Next on is discuss and sign the seller's representation agreement. So what that is basically the paperwork that you use to hire me to get your house listed and sold. Next thing is moving things out. And if there's anything left in the house that needs to be moved out, then this would be a great time to do that. And if the house belonged to someone that had passed away, as happens sometimes, then we'll need a copy of that paperwork that shows you have the legal right to sell the place. We'll get a copy of the key and the garage code. Now, here's a couple optional things that we want to talk about. So sometimes it's an idea to get a pre-listing home inspection, and that would cost you about $500 additional bucks, depending on the square footage of the house. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. And what that does is it shows us, you and me, some of the issues with the house, particularly issues that a buyer is going to find when they have their home inspector come out. And we can get in front of those and get those things corrected ahead of time. Also, we can offer that report if it looked pretty decent, or even if it didn't, we can offer that report to the buyers, potentially saving them money and making them more comfortable with you being the seller, that you've taken all these steps to find out what is truly wrong with the house. That can work out. But it's something that we don't have to do. If the house is in pretty decent shape and you're not too worried about anything, We can just leave that for the buyer to pay for. Another option is to repair the health and safety issues. That would be things that a buyer would particularly call out, or their inspector would call out to get repairs made. That could be leaks in the plumbing. That could be a GFCI outlet that's not functioning. There's always one. So getting in front of those are things that we could reasonably expect a buyer to ask for to have fixed before closing. An optional thing, depending on the condition of the house, would be to have repairs and upgrades made. Maybe the carpets wore out, and if you're trying to get top dollar out of the house, putting new carpet in might make sense. If you're not trying to get top dollar of the house and your priority is just getting it sold, then maybe we don't need to make any repairs. It's kind of a case-by-case basis. More forms to complete and sign. There's a property disclosure form, and that talks about the different things that the house has and if they're working or not. In the case of someone that's passed, and say you're the executor and you've never lived there, there's a particular form that also discloses that we don't know what's going on with the house, which would be a pretty good indicator to the buyer to make sure they do get a reputable home inspector out there to check things out. We're going to have a form that talks about the home features. Is it stucco? Is it wood siding? Is it whatever it is? It'll talk about the neighborhoods and the school district and what schools are assigned for elementary, middle, high school, all sorts of stuff like that. I can usually get most of that filled out for you, but there may be things on there that I don't know. So we'll work together and get that form filled out. And then if we go this route, to go coming soon authorization. So what a coming soon means is that the house is on the MLS, but nobody can come and actually tour it yet. So that's what coming soon is. It kind of gets a little bit of excitement before we actually pull the trigger and go live. Cleaning. If the house needs cleaning, well, that needs to be done as well. And when it does come to cleaning, sometimes, the house is just about perfect anyway, and you just need to run a damp cloth over things and it's good to go. Other times, the house just needs an absolute, total, thorough detailing because it just needs it. And could be because it hasn't been cleaned for a long time, or maybe there's a smoker that lived there, or pets, or different things like that. I have some great people in my toolbox that I can suggest to you that could come in and do a fantastic job with the cleaning. Also with other things like, let's say you need a fireplace serviced or HVAC serviced, or even your ducts cleaned out. Not your ducks, your ducts. I can help you with all those too. Then we have to worry about determining what the listing price is going to be. So we looked at those comps. We've seen how the cleaning came out, if we did cleaning. And if we did that make a difference? I can give you a case in point. I've had some listings in the past where a good, thorough, deep cleaning literally added $35,000 to the value of the house. So we can't, even though earlier we talked about what the comps are, now we're going to take that information plus your motivation plus the results of how things cleaned up and any repairs you might have done. And now we're going to determine what that listing price is going to be. Pictures taken. I go ahead and get a professional photographer out. He does absolutely a great job, some drone shots too. And that's going to be one of the key things when it comes to marketing to buyers, because buyers, they look at the pictures that they go on the internet, and pictures are so important. And we do a really good job getting those taken care of for you. And then we begin our marketing efforts. And that includes various different videos. We do video tour of the home. So people that are on the internet, they can actually look at the pictures and then take a video tour through the house, which is pretty sweet. Also, we get social media efforts going. And one of the things that we do here at the Treasure Valley Dave team is we concentrate on people relocating in from California or Seattle or wherever it is that they are trying to escape from. And we have an extensive library of videos that thousands and thousands of people come to every single month to check out. So we're going to be targeting those people and telling those people about your property. So that's kind of nice. You've probably heard that story. I was going to say myth maybe, but actually it does happen. You get those California buyers coming in with that California money, and they're happy to pay maybe more than what the locals would. Anyway, whatever it is, we're going to find that out for you. Then I'm going to go ahead and get a yard sign put in your front yard. Let's say we're in the coming soon status, so we have a coming soon rider on top of that yard sign. People can drive by, check out the neighborhood, look at the house from the outside, plus go online and check out all the pictures. And then we go live. And what going live means is that not only is it just on the MLS, it's now out to all sorts of places on the internet, to Realtor.com, to Zillow, to Trulia, to House.com. It's just everywhere you go, they're going to be there. And because we're now live, agents can start bringing their buyers by your house to take tours through inside. Also, I'm going to hold open houses. And when we do the open house, it's to generate interest in your local neighborhood. Maybe you have neighbors that are interested in having friends or family move closer to them. So we want to talk with those, plus any buyers that come through without an agent. We're going to make sure that they know what's going on. Buyers that come through with an agent, we're going to be talking with that agent to find out afterwards, what did your buyers think? Ready to send in an offer? Different things like that. And then one day we are going to get those offers. And there was a time where we would get multiple offers. And when that does happen, then obviously I'm going to sit down with you and go over the pros and cons of each one, because it's not always just the final dollar amount, but other terms that could be important to you as well. That's where the presenting offers, I present those to you. If you only have one, it's pretty easy. And then if it fits your terms, your needs, then you can get it accepted. So then we have that meeting of the minds between the seller and the buyer, have offer accepted, and then the next step is open escrow. And I have a team that works for me. They're called transaction coordinators, and they're a couple ladies that they make sure that everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Everybody gets coordinated, as the name of their business is. Transaction coordinators. That's something that I pay for. That's my cost of doing business. And it really is very helpful to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. So they'll be reaching out to you and introducing themselves, and you'll get to know them. They'll provide you some great information. Of course, I'm still there too. I'm out there making sure that whatever needs to be done gets done. Then the title company is going to reach out and receive the earnest money from the buyer, and they're going to hold that and then apply it towards the accounts once we have our closing. Everything gets balanced out. Then the buyer's going to have an inspection period where they can have any kind of an inspection done. Typically, they'll go ahead and hire a professional home inspector to come out and check out the home and then give them a report with their findings. Once they do get that report, they may or may not request repairs from the seller. Typically, we'll see health and safety things called out. If this is truly like an as-is sale, then, we just make sure that the buyers and the buyer's agents knows that, we're not planning on making any repairs whatsoever. But everything's negotiable. So when a buyer does reach that point, they do have three options. They can just accept the house the way it is. They can ask for repairs. And then if you decide to make repairs or not, then they can either move forward or they can terminate. So that's where we are there. Typically, because we have such great communication with the buyer's agents and they talk with their buyers, there's no big surprises that come out of this. And then once you agree to make repairs or not agree, and then the buyer decides to go ahead and move forward, then their inspection contingency period ends. That means that no longer can they just walk away and get all their earnest money back. Now they're in it to win it. And then when we're roughly 3 days before the closing date, the buyer has the right to do a walkthrough. And this is not a point where the buyer can come back and renegotiate this, that, or the other. But this is rather just to make sure that the house is in appreciably the same condition as it was when they first saw it, and that any repairs that they ask to be made, they can check it out to make sure that it's made. And then we have closing. When the house is officially closed is when the transaction records at the county. So say you sign on a Tuesday, that doesn't mean we're closed. That means that maybe you sign on a Tuesday and closing is on Wednesday. Let's say something happens and the title company doesn't get things done till like after 4 o'clock, and then the county doesn't get it recorded till Thursday, then closing's on Thursday. Typically what happens is that you'll sign the day of closing or the day before, whatever fits into your schedule. And then we have closing. And then that usually happens earlier in the morning, especially if you sign the day before or so. And then by say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, the transaction's complete. And when the transaction's complete, funds get dispersed. So you should be getting money coming to you from the title company. And of course, you'll work with the title company to figure out how you're going to get those received. And so that's pretty much it. Easy peasy, am I right? Well, hey, thanks for coming along, and any questions, please give me a holler. Be glad to help. Hey, so what'd you think about that? Some pretty informative stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, and your agent really needs to be, on the ball. That's what we do. We're pretty good at it too. So if you are a seller and you enjoyed this video, you might want to watch this next video where we talk with some actual movers that I really trust that have done a great job for our clients. Check it out. See you on the next video.